Well, I'm Paul Richardson in the marketing department. I told my Business 120 students that today you would be introduced to royalty, and I will not disappoint you. According to Great Lakes Magazine, the Buffalo News, and all who know him, Mr. Drew Cerza, the Wing King, is a man of action. He took a brilliant idea for a summer festival dedicated to chicken wings and transformed it into the Buffalo Wing Festival, one of the greatest events of its kind in the world. Mr. Cerza has spent his entire life in the food industry. In 1994, Mr. Cerza founded RMI Promotions, a food promotion agency for retailers and national food manufacturers. He retired as president in 2005 to focus on the Buffalo Wing Festival and his charity work. I should also add that Mr. Cerza is also on the board of directors of our own food and consumer packaged good marketing concentration in the marketing department. While Mr. Cerza is passionate about wings, his true spirit shows in his charity. Mr. Cerza has raised millions of dollars for many nonprofit groups, and the Buffalo Wing Festival is a huge contributor to local charities. According to Mr. Cerza, my whole business platform has always been about raising money for charity. It's all about giving back to the community. Mr. Cerza, wherever you may be, we are very proud and honored to welcome you to Niagara University. I invite you to share your wisdom with our students and community.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Bill Murray's a big junk food eater. His goal, to go to the Buffalo Chicken Wing Festival. But guess what? There wasn't one. So a reporter from the Buffalo News, Don Esmond, wrote an article, why don't we have a chicken wing festival? So I decided to do it. Had no clue, and had no money. But I had $100,000 of equity on my house, and I knew how to sign my wife's name. Luckily, it didn't rain that year, and the rest is history. We just held our 16th annual festival. Thank you, Father. And it took 10 years for my wife to find out. But by then, we got money back. So the Chicken Wing Festival is about tourism. It's about Buffalo taking ownership for something they created, the chicken wing, back in 1964 at the world-famous Anchor Bar. How many people are from out of town? And what do they call chicken wings on the menu? Buffalo wings, right? That's great branding for Buffalo, because everything in life is about your brand, is about your name. And I have had the opportunity as a Wing King to go on TV shows. I beat Bobby Flay in a throwdown, by the way. That's good. You guys know who Bobby Flay is? Okay. I didn't know if I was aging myself there. But he called me the Wing King. I've carried it out ever since. I actually taught here for a couple classes in the hospitality program on tourism. Tourism is a huge economic engine for Western New York. At the Wing Fest, we track people, and this past year, they came from all 50 states, every continent except Antarctica. That's a tough one to get, Father, I'll tell you, Antarctica. Not many people want to live there. In 46 different countries. And it's a way for us to showcase our city of Buffalo and the chicken wing that we've taken ownership of. So I think it's time. Do you guys want to talk a little business? A little biz? Let's talk biz. Come on, Maria, let me, I got to put my business outfit on. So, thank you. Pretty cool, huh? It's my work outfit, my good jeans and everything. So, I was in your seat. We got freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. The difference between you guys and me, I went to 4 different colleges in 5 years. I hopped around. I played college basketball. I didn't have the opportunity to go to a place like Niagara and get engaged. But right now, if you're a senior, you got 1 year. If you're a freshman, you got 4 years. Because the whole idea of going to college is what? To get a job. And it's not always about money. It's about getting that job that you like. Because money doesn't buy it all, but happiness can help. So I always talk about my brand. What is my brand? I'm the Wing King. I just didn't become the Wing King. I got involved in a lot of different charities. between Meals on Wheels, the Food Bank of Western New York, Big Brothers Big Sisters, I can go on and on and on. Because I volunteered, got involved in clothing drives, food drives, and you guys have the same opportunity. Because what's going to happen, seniors, if you when you graduate and don't go on to further your education, you're going to be on the other side of that desk. Do you ever see that movie 21 with Kevin Spacey? And guess what? That resume you got, they got 1 million of them. What's going to make you different? What's your brand? You guys study marketing, right? You know what branding is, right? Well, guess what? It's time to take that knowledge that you've learned and brand yourself. What is your brand? So if you're on the other side of that desk, you can tell that person, I got involved in this. I helped out at the college basketball games. I helped out in a fundraiser with a clothing drive. You need to be able to tell a story. And that's what branding is all about. Because you got two choices. You guys go to football games, ever go to New Era Field, they call it now? You could be one of the 60,000 sitting in the stands, or you could be one of the 22 playing on the field. It's pretty cool playing on the field, not that I'd ever know, but that's where I wanted to be. I don't want to be watching. I want to be the people. I want to be on that field and have people watching me, because I wanted to be a leader, and I became one. I grew up in Kenmore, New York, okay? Kenmore? There you go. What high school did you go to? Class of 79, brother. How about you? Yeah, a couple years ago, right? So I went to St. John the Baptist and St. Joe's. I was just a little Kenmore kid trying to find his way. And I didn't follow the rules real well. You know, I didn't really want to get a real job. I still don't have one, by the way, which is pretty cool at 56. But I did all these entrepreneurial things. I did home leather parties at people's houses. I sold satellite dishes. I did everything that could avoid me getting a real job. And then it happened. I got a real job. Okay? I had 2 real jobs, back to back. But what I did was, I was in sales. You can't just be in your little box, in your little cube. You got to step outside of your comfort zone, outside your box, and study the environment around you. If you work for a company and you're in sales, say you're in the IT department, okay? The pocket protector people, they're pretty smart people, but they stay in their box. They have opportunities to help everybody in that company because they fix computers. So you need to create value for yourself and build that brand. I built my brand. It wasn't through chicken wings. It was through helping out in the community. You got to get involved in that community. You can be selfish and not do crap. You know, you can just like do your thing, go to classes, then get a job and go home and be boring and go out and party. That's an option, you know, and for some people it works. But I don't think you're at Niagara to do that. I think you guys are here because you do want to make a difference, but you got to start. And if you haven't started, it's never too late. You can start today. So I encourage you during the course of the year to really get involved. Your smile and your handshake. Means everything. The way you say hi to somebody and the way you smile. Don't fake it. People can sense when you fake sincerity. It means a lot. It means a lot. Care, want it, go for it. Don't go through the motions in life. Don't go through the motion in classes. That 3-hour Monday night class, I taught one. I knew I was in trouble, the way people slouched and all that. It's a tiring thing, but you just got to fight it out, get through it, and really care and try to be the best you can, because I'll tell you what, technology's goal, you know what technology's goal is out there in society? Is to eliminate jobs. And that's what you guys are going for, so you got to be on top of your game. And speaking of technology, okay, Instagrammers, Snapchatters, nobody's on Facebook anymore, right? Except me and a few other people in this room. Twitter, all I can tell you is this. If I give you one message today, don't do so stupid stuff on social media. It's really not worth it, because the first thing I do in my business, before I say, I have rental property in Ellicottville, okay, for weekend rentals. First thing I do, I go to their Facebook and their Twitter. You can tell a lot. If they're partying, if they're crazy, if they're stupid, you can see some real personal lack of skills from social media. So I encourage you to really be careful with all your social media. I've seen people, every employer, by the way, will go to your social media page before they call you for an interview. So it's very, very important. And don't think the teachers don't look either, because they do as well. I just want to tell you 2 stories about people like yourselves. So I run the festival myself, and every year I have an intern, okay? And one year I had this young kid, Reed Nolte. He was a junior at St. John Fisher College in Rochester. And you could tell he's never wore a shirt and tie, and his parents went out and bought him one the night before. You know those guys that got the collar a size 18, they're really a 15? And he's got the tie that barely came up, and he had the suit that didn't fit. He walks into my office and says, I want to work for you. I said, well, why? Well, I've been going to school in business and marketing, and I want to really test my skills. I said, well, I'm not normal. I'm not a normal ad agency. You probably need to see what the real world's about, and I'm not it. He goes, no, I want to work for you. So I hired him as an intern. Well, he did great. He was fantastic. He got his community service hours and all that. So it was May the following year, he didn't have a job. I said, why don't you have a job? He goes, well, I didn't start looking until May. Well, that's not the time to look for a job. So I hired him because I knew he was a good kid. So he worked all summer for me, and then he worked at the Chicken Wing Festival. Well, it was the same year in 2006, Hurricane Ernesto came up through Texas, and we had 3 inches of rain, and Reed really took care of a lot of the restaurants. See, restaurants come in from all over the country. So Reed took care of this one chicken wing place especially, because they were actually, 3 of the guys couldn't make it because the hurricane was coming up through their area. Well, they called me afterward and said, what do you think of this kid? I said, I love him. I said, he's green, he needs a little experience, but I think he'll do anything you want, he'll go through a wall. They hired him as a marketing assistant, Wow Wingery, down in New Orleans. Well, it winds up, he's an assistant, and his boss gets pregnant 6 months later. Guess who becomes the director of marketing? Reed Nolte at age 23. Well, Reed's now 34 years old. He's the head of marketing of this company that owns 30 chicken wing places, 25 coffee places, 20 of something else. Because he walked in my door and sat in the reception area, and I have no receptionist. He just sat there for a while till I came out, and he asked. But he was proactive on it. My nephew, Stephen Trippi, graduated from St. Joe's. He went to Ithaca College, and he wanted to be in the stock game. He wanted the stock market, and Cornell had a competing program. Well, a lot of Ithaca kids don't get the call from a Morgan Stanley or a Goldman Sachs. So he had to call them on his own. So he had found out that they were coming down to Cornell to interview some students for jobs. And he called the guy up, found out who it was, and he says, I want to do an interview. I heard you're coming through. Could you give me an interview? He says, well, we have no time. We're driving in from New York that morning. We got a very tight schedule. He says, well, you got to stop and get breakfast. Can I at least meet you for breakfast? The guy said, okay. Guess what? Stephen Trippi from Buffalo, Kenmore, New York, St. Joe's High School, become the #1 recruit in the country for Goldman Sachs. Because he told the guys, let me just have breakfast with you. That's aggressive. That's really aggressive. The guys at Cornell were not happy. Not happy, because they thought Ithaca was down here and Cornell was up here. So he was really pleased with that. But it's about being proactive and really making a difference. Yeah, it's all I can encourage you. I'm not going to talk to you about education. You guys know what you got to do in the classroom. You know what you got to do. But a resume doesn't work anymore. You know, it's about those personal skills and the story you can tell about your brand. What is your brand? Student of Niagara? That's one part of your brand. It's what you do out there in the community. It's the internships you do before you graduate. The bigger your story to tell, the better chances you have, not just at a job, but in life in general. You know, you want to be well-rounded, you want to have experiences, and man, trust me, I tried so many things that I failed in when I was younger, and then I got lucky and I hit one. You know, I always swing for the fence. That's just my style. You got to swing for you got to think of the big dream. I always say you got to reach for the stars. But you look at that star, you got to create the ladder how to get to that star. And it's a building process. And right now in college is when you build your personal skills, you develop your morals, your values, your ethics. What kind of person are you going to be? You know, that's your story, that's your brand. So think about your brand. Even get a little pad of paper or put a note section on your iPhone and put brand. What do you want your brand to be? When you sit down with your newborn child and that child then turns 10 years old, starts asking you, tell me about yourself, mom or dad, what are you going to tell them? Do you have a story? Do you have a success story that you want them to duplicate? That's what you want. You want to make your parents proud? Well, it's your brand. My mom's real proud of me. She calls herself Mama Wing. Mama Wing. I love it. I made my mom and dad proud. You know, so life is short, and man, it's gone before you know it. You're just on to. I'm 56 years old. I got two beautiful daughters. Maria played soccer with one of my daughters, Sydney. I got a sophomore at Bonaventure and a daughter that just graduated from the University of Rochester, and I couldn't be prouder. And each one of them have built their own brand. Completely different kids, but they've done it. They've done it on their own, and I know they're going to be successful. And every one of you have a chance to be successful. So if you're a senior, you got a year. If you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, start today. Start this year. Start in the classroom. Impress professors. Do things outside the community. You can still have your fun. Believe me, the Wing King has his fun. I never got arrested. Never got arrested. I had my fun. But it's about enjoying college, but also having a purpose. And that purpose you develop in college and those skills you develop in college are skills and your personality you take on the rest of your life. So be a brand. Be the brand you want to be. Who do you want to emulate? Who's pretty cool that you like? You know, be that. It doesn't have to be one person. It could be a few. Take different skill sets from different people and you know, don't be Angela Jolie or whoever. It's somebody that you really want to be like. You think about having kids, and what would you want your kid to think of you as? You know, think about making your parents proud. Be the brand. The brand is important. And you are the brand. And I wish you all well this year and great success. And if you ever want to contact me about anything, I love talking to students. I love talking about futures. You can find me easy. You can Google me. You can get me through the website to contact us. I'd be more than happy to talk to you at any point in time, especially over the next 3 months. I'm kind of loose. I want to thank you for your time and thank you for the opportunity. You're part of a great program, and I'm proud to be part of the food marketing program here at Niagara University. Great program. But thank you very much, and the best during the course of the year. Thank you.